Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Wayne, one sober to another. Today's video is about paying it forward and about giving back your experience to those who still suffer and how you can use your experience to help somebody else. You ready to go? Let's get it. All right, so as some of you know, I have been gone for quite some time. I went snowboarding for 4 days in Garmisch, which was absolutely incredible. And there's a lot that goes into that small experience you could take away and perhaps be able to say, you know what, that kind of applies to me in my life. So therefore, maybe I should pay it forward. Also, I am just coming off of being sick with, wait a minute, we can't say this word here on this channel, David. Okay, so I've been sick with, that thing that we're not allowed to say here. And it was not as traumatic as I thought it would be, but it did take me out of work for a couple of days. As a matter of fact, it afforded me the opportunity to shoot this video for you today. So I've been gone for quite some time, like I said, and things have been way out of my scope of control. And I found that the best way to deal with these things is to take it step by step and to just let things develop as they are. Now, that may seem silly to a lot of you, but as we use our experiences, strength, and hope to help other alcoholics and addicts who still suffer, you know what? There's a whole lot here that you might be able to relate to. So I went snowboarding for 4 days in Garmisch, and it was absolutely incredible. Check out those conditions. That's right. It was blizzardy and there was snow everywhere. There was whiteouts. I experienced ski sickness, which I didn't even know was a thing until this time. You know what? I had a great time. I had a blast, and there was a couple kinks in it though. I didn't know how to snowboard appropriately before I even went there. And the reason why that is important is because this was an instructor course that my boss put me up for. Therefore, those funds were coming out from somewhere else. Now, I wasn't there just to have a great old time, and I wasn't there to learn how to snowboard. I was there in order to learn how to instruct other people how to snowboard, which is ironic because the 4 times that I ever went in my lifetime, I was inebriated, I was intoxicated, and I spent 23 years drunk. And so everything that I did under the influence or in the fog, so to speak, that's where my brain compartmentalized that recall, and it made it impossible for me to recall it when I actually needed it sober. That created a problem, folks. And that created the problem because, like I said, I was supposed to be at this instructor course to learn how to teach other people how to snowboard, when truth is, I did not know how to snowboard myself. Now, this was a big problem because that's why I was there, and that's why somebody else paid for me to be there. So naturally, as you can guess, my boss got a call that, guess what? Wayne can't snowboard. And I tell you what, by the end of the 4 days of beating myself up trying to learn how to snowboard, guess what? I know how to snowboard. And I remember the fundamentals in order to teach someone else how to snowboard. So this test comes up in March, I think it is. And I have to go there again for a 2-day course and demonstrate that I know how to snowboard and teach other people how to snowboard. The problem is that my boss is still angry. My boss, did not exactly use friendly language to explain her disappointment about me going there not knowing how to snowboard, when initially, before we left for the course and the build up to the course, and this story is going somewhere, I promise you, we had all said, we have experienced snowboarding. Now, yes, it's my fault because I did not 100% stress the fact that, guess what? I don't think I remember how to snowboard. However, to back myself up a little bit, I did say the few times that I had gone, I was drunk. And I'm not sure if I remember and if I can recall how to actually snowboard. So as this story goes on and on and on, and I'm gonna cut it short here, I learned how to snowboard at an instructor course, which is totally beyond the purpose of that course. However, I also learned how to instruct people on how to snowboard. So I don't think the money was wasted, and that's maybe my way of digging for reasoning and logic of the boss not to be angry. But I understand where she's coming from, and I understand that there's other people's money involved here, and that's a good reason to be upset. But it's not going to be in vain, because guess what? Sober Wayne will persevere, and Sober Wayne will be able to take that zero and turn it into something that is useful. That is the beauty of being able to pay it forward and being able to take the lessons of my sobriety and pass it on to people like you, and to pass it on to those who are suffering right now. Because in my early sobriety, it was very easy for me to blame other people for my circumstance. It was very easy for me to put people in certain boxes and say, you're the reason this, you're the reason that, you're the reason that, you're the reason that. Sober Wayne, long-term Sober Wayne, says, you know what? Where's my part in this box? Where's my space? Where do I fit in this puzzle? And how do I make the situation better than make it worse? Because that's what Sober Wayne does. And I'm referring to myself in the third person because a lot of us get wrapped around the axle that we can't change. And a lot of us get, bogged down by the fact that, okay, we were alcoholic or we were an addict or whatever the case is, and get stuck in that rut. And I'm here to tell you, if you change the way that you feel about it, and I say that a lot on this channel, then you're able to use those experiences that you had from your alcoholism or from your addiction to bring a positive aspect to life and to actually pass that on to somebody else, that lesson, and make it valuable for them and make it a tool that they can use and you can still use in order to remain sober or to get sober and to stay that way, because that's the ultimate goal. So if you've gotten any value from that little tidbit, drop your comments below. And I know that it was a little long-winded, but I had to put it into context for you. I'm gonna tell you real quick, zipping down a mountain that you're not supposed to be on at a certain skill level, not knowing how to snowboard is daggone terrifying. It's terrifying, but it's doable. Just like early sobriety or just like trying to find the way to get sober can be terrifying, but it is possible. And it is possible to learn with the tools that other people have used in order to make something of it. Know what I'm saying? If so, again, drop that comment below because someone else is looking for something. A little bit of inspiration, a little bit of hope, a little bit of motivation, and you may have that key for them. I appreciate it. All right, story number 2, folks. I got the vid, right? I got the vid and I was coming back from snowboarding, actually. And I thought that, maybe I had some aches and pains from, I got brutalized the first couple of days, but it had some aches and pains from that on my, on my bumpus, and, my chest was hurting, my arms were hurting, my joints were hurting. And I thought maybe it was all from snowboarding. Well, it turns out I tested on Sunday, I think it was this past Sunday, and it was positive. So I had to call my boss and I had to tell her, look, I got that thing, and what do you want me to do? Because rules and regulations on how we go about isolation and everything else had totally changed. And turns out I've been home for a couple days and it wasn't fun, folks. It wasn't fun, but it wasn't as drastic as the first time. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful to be sober. I'm grateful to be here, to be able to share my experience, strength, and hope with you. The bottom line and lesson here, folks, is I could have easily held a resentment towards my boss for being angry and using the words that she did and challenging my integrity, when I should have said flat out, I don't know how to snowboard. Don't send me to the course. Instead, I bit the bullet because I didn't want to disappoint her and I didn't want to disappoint the team and say that I didn't know how to do this. And I put myself in a situation that was not only unsafe, but cost some people some money. And, you know, if I can pay it back, I will. But I do know how to snowboard, and I do know how to instruct other people how to snowboard now. And I'm confident that if I'm able to test in March, I'll be able to do that. The lesson here is that we can take our feelings and we can either bottle them up or we can do something positive with them. And that's where this lesson comes into play, folks. And that's where paying it forward comes into play, because a lot of folks have reached out that they need some help. And I found some new links. A couple new links are down below. One is state by state recovery resources, and the other one is a global resource in addition to what I already have down in the description below if you need some help right now. So a couple people have reached out. A couple people are struggling with addiction, and some are struggling with alcoholism, and some are struggling in early recovery. And I thought this video might be helpful. Let me know what you think, again, in the comments below. And if you have some resources that other people can use, feel free to drop those in your comments. Please don't spam it with the Sinclair method and all that stuff, because I've been getting that a lot lately. I got it. It probably works, but these comments all are kind of cookie cut it, and they look like they are a spam of some sort. So if you see those and you think they're valid, don't click on them, because I'm not certain what they are. However, life is a garden, dig it. Sorry I've been away for so long. I promise there is more to come on this channel. And someone else asked me when I'm going to do a live video. Folks, if you want me to be on live, because I like to be on live, but for some reason the last 2 attempts that I had going live didn't go so well. So I haven't done it. But if you want to be on live, you want to chat, and you want to throw out what's on your mind, let me know, because it is the holidays and it is a time where we can find ourselves easily getting depressed and anxious and suffering from panic attacks and things like that. And that can lead to a relapse, which is something I don't want anyone to experience, because you might not come back from it. Life is a garden, dig it. Thank you to all who have subscribed. And if you've gotten any value, consider subscribing. I'm going to say this because I think it's important. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the videos that come up on this channel where you have an opportunity to help somebody else. Life is a garden, dig it. I'll see you in the next one.